Everyone believes that fruits are healthy, nourishing, and safe for the body. But little do we realize that these seemingly harmless fruits may silently damage your eyesight. You've probably heard all your life that eating fruits is the best thing for your health, that they cleanse your body, give you energy, and keep you feeling young. But here's the shocking truth. The very fruits you consider the most harmless might actually be robbing you of your vision, piece by piece. Have you ever stopped to think that a bunch of ripe bananas or a cluster of sweet, juicy longans could be the reason your eyesight is slowly deteriorating without you even realizing it? Imagine waking up one morning and suddenly everything around you seems blurry, your vision cloudy, your eyes struggling to see the faces of loved ones, or even read the words in a book you've always cherished. It sounds like a nightmare, right? But for many elderly people, this is a reality they silently face, all because of the so-called healthy fruits they've been consuming daily. How could something as simple as fruit do so much damage? The truth might shock you, but the answer lies in the high sugar content of many fruits, especially those that are overly ripe. Those sweet bananas, the ones you think are perfect for a healthy snack, contain so much fructose that they could be speeding up the aging of your retina. The same goes for those luscious longans whose sweetness hides a darker secret, an overload of sugar that raises your blood glucose levels, wreaking havoc on your delicate eye tissues. This isn't just a theory. It's backed by scientific studies showing the impact of high fructose consumption on eye health. This lesson is here to expose the truth that could be silently affecting your eyesight and changing the way you look at the fruit bowl on your table. So, next time you reach for that perfectly ripe banana or a bunch of longans, ask yourself, is this sweetness worth sacrificing my vision? Let's dive into the facts, and you'll see why those healthy fruits may not be so innocent after all. Have you ever woken up and felt like everything around you has become a blur, as though the world is slowly slipping out of focus? You try to make out the face of your loved ones, but their features are distorted, or you struggle to read the small print in your favorite book. At first, it might seem like an odd, temporary situation, but what if this could be a sign that something deeper is going wrong? Your vision, which has always been crystal clear, could be fading without warning, and the cause might surprise you. This gradual decline in vision is not something distant or improbable. It's something happening right now to people just like you. It can occur slowly, so imperceptibly that you might not even notice it until it's too late. But the root cause? It could lie in the food you consume, especially the sugary fruits that many of us believe are healthy, vital, and nourishing. While fruits have long been seen as the cornerstone of a nutritious diet, the truth is that many popular fruits, particularly the sweet ones, are packed with sugars, fructose in particular, that over time can silently destroy your eyesight. The high sugar content in these fruits doesn't just pass through your body unnoticed. It's absorbed into your bloodstream, causing your blood sugar levels to spike, putting strain on your organs, including your eyes. Your eyes' delicate blood vessels, particularly in the retina, become increasingly fragile as they struggle to deal with this influx of sugar. Over time, this damage accumulates, leading to reduced vision, eye fatigue, and eventually more severe conditions like macular degeneration or cataracts. The scariest part is that the effects of consuming too many sugary fruits can be gradual. So gradual that you might not even realize your eyes are deteriorating until you're unable to recognize faces or read the words in front of you. It's a silent thief of sight, creeping up little by little, all while you continue to enjoy those healthy fruits that you've been told are good for you. That banana you eat every morning, the juicy mangoes and sweet lychees, all of them could be unknowingly contributing to the slow erosion of your vision. Understanding why this is happening is crucial if you want to take control of your eye health. It's not just about cutting out fruit entirely, but rather about being mindful of the ones you choose, the quantities, and the timing. The key is moderation and knowing which fruits are really worth keeping in your diet without sacrificing your vision in the long run. Everyone has enjoyed the sweetness of a ripe banana, and most of us believe it's a healthy, easy to digest snack that does wonders for our body, especially our eyes. We've always been told that bananas are a source of vitamins and energy, helping to improve digestion and even boosting our vision. But what if I told you that this seemingly innocent sweet fruit might actually be doing more harm than good, especially when consumed in excess? The truth is, ripe bananas, particularly those with black spots, contain a hidden danger that most people are unaware of. They are packed with fructose, and when bananas become overripe, the fructose content can be up to twice as high as in moderately ripe bananas. At first glance, a perfectly ripe banana may seem like the ideal choice for a quick snack, but over time, eating too many of them can have serious consequences, especially for older adults. The high fructose content in an overripe banana doesn't just provide a sugar rush, it triggers a chain reaction that can cause a significant spike in your blood sugar levels. For those with already weakened organs, such as the eyes, this sudden sugar surge can cause the blood vessels in the eyes to become damaged and weakened, leading to a gradual decline in vision. I've seen this firsthand with my own father. He had a long-standing habit of eating overly ripe bananas almost every day, thinking they were harmless and even beneficial. But over the years, I watched as his eyesight deteriorated. It wasn't until much later that we realized how much damage those overripe bananas had caused. His vision became blurry, and he began to rely more heavily on his glasses, struggling to do simple tasks he used to enjoy, like reading the newspaper or watching television without straining his eyes. The shocking reality is that those bananas, which were once considered a simple, nutritious snack, had quietly become a silent enemy to his vision. The sugar in those overly ripe bananas isn't just sugar, it's fructose, which is metabolized differently in the body and can have far more damaging effects than regular sugars. It causes the blood vessels in the eyes to become inflamed and less able to handle the demands of daily life, slowly degrading eyesight over time. So, before you reach for that perfectly ripe sweet banana, consider this. You might want to choose one that's slightly less ripe. The slight hint of green on the peel may not be as appealing, but it's much healthier for your eyes and overall well-being. It's crucial to understand that moderation is key. A ripe banana once in a while is fine, but if it's a regular part of your daily diet, especially for older adults, the effects could be damaging than you think. So let's rethink our snack choices and make sure we're nourishing our bodies in a way that protects, not harms, our most valuable asset, our eyesight. Longans are widely regarded as a healthful, blood-nourishing fruit that cools the body and supports liver function. For many, these small, translucent fruits are a summer favorite, cherished for their sweet, refreshing flavor. However, behind their innocent sweetness, longans may be secretly wreaking havoc on your eyesight, especially when consumed excessively. What most people don't realize is that eating too many longans, particularly when you're hungry or late at night, can cause a sudden spike in blood sugar levels. This, in turn, puts significant pressure on your delicate eye structures, leading to gradual vision deterioration over time. While longans have long been praised for their supposed health benefits, their high natural sugar content can quickly become a double-edged sword. The problem arises when the sugar, particularly glucose and sucrose, enters your bloodstream rapidly, especially after eating large amounts of this fruit. For older adults with weakened metabolic systems, this sudden rise in blood sugar levels can be overwhelming. Not only does it increase the strain on the liver and other organs, but it also directly affects the eyes, which are incredibly sensitive to fluctuations in blood glucose. The blood vessels in the eyes become stressed, leading to swelling in the retina, which over time can cause blurred vision or even permanent damage to the eyesight. I vividly recall an incident with my uncle, a healthy, active man in his 60s, who had always been careful about his diet. He never suffered from diabetes or high blood pressure, but like many, he loved eating longans during the peak of their season. One summer, he ate a few handfuls of longans nearly every evening, thinking nothing of it. Soon after, he began to complain about his eyesight, saying things appeared blurry and he couldn't make out details as he once did. At first, we thought it was just a minor inconvenience due to aging, but a visit to the eye specialist revealed something alarming. His retina showed signs of swelling, a condition directly linked to his diet of overconsumed sugar-rich fruits. What was most shocking was that My uncle's blood sugar levels were consistently elevated, and it was clear that his longan intake had been the catalyst for this sudden change in his health. The longans, while a seemingly innocent and healthy fruit, were responsible for silently elevating his blood sugar levels, which placed undue stress on his eyes. The impact on his vision was subtle at first. He didn't realize the harm until it was too late. For those with existing conditions like liver issues, high blood pressure, or diabetes, the effects are even more pronounced. The body's ability to regulate glucose becomes compromised, and the eyes, which rely on stable blood flow, are left vulnerable. If you are someone who enjoys eating longans regularly, it's essential to be mindful of the quantities consumed and the timing. It's better to indulge in moderation. Don't eat them late at night or on an empty stomach. And if you have any underlying health conditions, it's wise to limit or avoid longans altogether. The sweet, cooling sensation of longans on a hot day might feel refreshing, but remember, what's refreshing to the taste buds can be a silent killer to your eyesight. Next time you reach for that bag of longans, ask yourself, is it worth the cost of your vision? Make sure that in your pursuit of cooling relief, you aren't sacrificing your most precious asset, your sight. Lychees are often seen as the ultimate summer treat, their vibrant red skin and sweet, juicy flesh making them an irresistible snack. With their refreshing taste and festive appeal, it's no wonder they've earned a spot in many people's hearts, especially during the warmer months. But what if I told you that this deliciously sweet fruit, often considered healthy and rejuvenating, could be secretly damaging your eyes, especially for older adults? Despite their tempting flavor, lychees, when consumed in excess, can lead to a rapid increase in blood sugar levels, putting immense pressure on the delicate structures of the eye and ultimately causing severe vision impairment. For most people, a handful of lychees might seem harmless, but for older adults with already compromised metabolic systems, these sweet fruits can quickly become a dangerous risk. Lychees are naturally high in sugar, particularly fructose, and when consumed in large quantities, they cause a sharp spike in blood glucose levels. This sudden surge places immense strain on the eyes, which are highly sensitive to blood sugar fluctuations. Over time, this stress can lead to damage to the retina, a condition that can result in blurry vision, difficulty focusing, and even permanent vision loss if left unaddressed. I'll never forget the case of my dear friend, an elderly man who had always prided himself on his health and energy. He loved lychees and ate them daily during the season, thinking they were a natural way to stay refreshed and healthy. However, after a few weeks of indulging in them every day, he began to notice a shift in his vision. At first, it was subtle. He found it harder to read the fine print on his books, and the world around him seemed to blur slightly. But soon, it got worse. He could no longer recognize the faces of his grandchildren from across the room, and he had difficulty distinguishing between colors. After seeing a specialist, we learned that his blood sugar levels had spiked significantly, which had caused his retina to swell and led to a condition called macular edema. This was directly linked to his excessive intake of lychees. The problem with lychees lies not just in their sweetness, but in how quickly they can raise blood sugar levels. For older adults whose bodies already struggle with regulating blood sugar, this rapid fluctuation can be devastating. The increased glucose levels cause inflammation and damage to the tiny blood vessels in the eyes, which can lead to permanent vision problems, including macular degeneration and cataracts. And while lychees are often hailed for their high vitamin C content and antioxidants, they can also cause significant harm if consumed carelessly. So before you go reaching for that bowl of lychees, remember that not everything sweet is good for you, especially when it comes to your eyes. Just because a fruit is your favorite doesn't mean it's always the best choice for your health, particularly when it comes to your vision. Enjoy lychees in moderation and never consume them on an empty stomach or too late in the day. And if you're someone who already has diabetes, high blood pressure, or any form of retinal weakness, it's best to avoid them altogether. Your eyes are precious, and it's important to understand that the food you consume can have lasting consequences. So the next time you indulge in those sweet red lychees, take a moment to think, is it worth risking your eyesight for a few moments of sweetness? The answer might just surprise you. Who doesn't love the delicious, juicy sweetness of a perfectly ripe mango? The golden flesh, dripping with nectar, is a tropical delight, and for many, it's one of the best fruits of the season. Mangoes are often hailed for their rich flavor and their abundance of vitamins, particularly vitamin A, which is essential for good vision. But here's the thing, don't let that sweet, irresistible flavor fool you. Behind the lusciousness of a ripe mango lies a hidden danger, especially for older adults. Each ripe mango contains a staggering amount of sugar, up to 45 grams of sugar in a medium-sized fruit. That's the equivalent of a glass of concentrated sugar water. While it might taste like a refreshing treat, that sugar content could be wreaking havoc on your blood sugar levels, especially if you consume them in large quantities. For older adults whose bodies may already have a harder time regulating blood sugar, this can result in a dangerous spike in glucose levels, placing immense pressure on sensitive areas of the body, particularly the eyes. The eyes are particularly vulnerable to fluctuations in blood sugar. The delicate blood vessels in the retina, especially in the macula, the part of the eye responsible for sharp central vision, are prone to damage when blood sugar levels rise too quickly or stay elevated for too long. Consuming mangoes in excess, especially for those who are already dealing with conditions like diabetes or high blood pressure, can lead to irreversible damage to the eye's tiny blood vessels. Over time, this damage accumulates and can result in conditions such as macular degeneration, cataracts, and even permanent vision loss. I remember a close family friend, an elderly woman who had always been vibrant and healthy, telling me how much she adored mangoes. She would eat them by the bowlful every summer, believing they were a healthy way to enjoy the season. At first, there was no sign of harm. She felt energized and loved the taste. But as time passed, she began to notice that her vision was becoming more blurry, especially when reading or watching TV. It wasn't until a routine eye exam revealed early signs of macular degeneration that we learned the truth. Her excessive consumption of mangoes had contributed to her increased blood sugar, which in turn was damaging her vision. The danger of mangoes lies not in their nutritional value, but in their sugar content, which can cause blood glucose to spike rapidly. For those who already have weakened eyes, or those who are at risk for conditions like diabetes or heart disease, these sugar spikes can have severe consequences. The sugar from that one mango can inflame the blood vessels in the eyes, reducing their ability to deliver oxygen and nutrients properly, which can weaken vision over time. So next time you reach for that perfectly ripe mango, remember that moderation is key. While mangoes are undoubtedly delicious and packed with nutrients, they should be enjoyed sparingly, especially if you're in the older age group or dealing with any health conditions that affect your blood sugar levels. A mango every now and then is fine, but don't make it a daily habit. Protect your eyesight by making mindful choices. Instead of indulging in a large mango, try a small portion and pair it with a balanced meal to avoid the rapid rise in blood sugar. By taking these small steps, you can continue to enjoy the taste of this tropical fruit without sacrificing the health of your eyes. After all, your vision is one of your most valuable assets, and it's worth preserving. So the next time you're tempted by that sweet, juicy mango, ask yourself, is this sweet treat worth the potential risk to my eyesight? Your answer should be guided by the desire to protect your health for the long term. In conclusion, it's essential to understand that not all fruits are beneficial for your eyes, despite what you may have been told. While many fruits are delicious and packed with vitamins, those that are overly sweet can become silent enemies, slowly damaging your vision without you even realizing it. The high sugar content in fruits like bananas, longans, lychees, mangoes, and others can lead to dangerous spikes in blood sugar, which over time can cause irreversible damage to the delicate blood vessels in your eyes. This in turn can result in blurred vision, increased eye strain, and even permanent conditions like macular degeneration or cataracts. But don't be discouraged. There's a way to enjoy fruits without compromising your eye health. The key is moderation. Instead of indulging in large quantities of sugary fruits, opt for those with lower glycemic indices and eat them in moderation. Be mindful of the timing as well. Avoid consuming these high sugar fruits late in the day or when you're on an empty stomach. This will help prevent the sudden spikes in blood sugar that can harm your vision. By making these small adjustments, you'll be able to continue enjoying the natural sweetness of fruits without sacrificing your eyesight in the process. It's also important to be conscious of the bigger picture. Our eating habits have a profound impact on our overall health, including our eyes. The idea of eating for your eyes should be more than just a catchy slogan. It should be a lifestyle choice. Taking the time to care for yourself, making informed decisions about what you consume, and staying mindful of how your body reacts to different foods will not only preserve your eyesight, but will also contribute to your long-term health and well-being. So, slow down, be kind to yourself, and make sure you're nourishing your body with foods that truly support your health. Your eyes are one of the most precious gifts you have, and they deserve to be cared for. Remember, it's not about depriving yourself of the joys of eating fruit, but about making smarter choices to ensure that you can continue to enjoy every beautiful moment in life, from watching your grandchildren grow up to simply enjoying a sunset with a loved one. Don't let harmful food choices rob you of your vision. By being mindful and choosing your fruits wisely, you can protect your eyesight and enjoy a fulfilling, healthy life for years to come. After all, your ability to see the world clearly is invaluable. Cherish it and make choices that will keep your vision sharp for the long haul.